up, y'all? It is your girl, Sarah from Sarah Styles here. I'm about to get real with y'all today. Real talk, can you actually make a full-time living reselling on Poshmark? I'm going to get down and dirty with you, show you my data and my perspective. A conspiracy theory, maybe? Do they actually cap out your sales? Stay tuned. Well, what's up, guys? Thanks so much for joining. In today's video, I'm going to get raw with you. I'm going to not hold anything back and talk to you about becoming a full-time reseller on Poshmark. Can you make it happen? I'm going to show you my data, show you my analytics and my thoughts and perspectives on it. I would love to hear your perspectives on it if you guys are noticing the same things that I am. I'm going to start this video with saying I think Poshmark is an amazing platform. I think it's absolutely wonderful for side hustle. You don't have time. eBay and some of the other platforms, you have to be very consistent. If you lose something, you get a ding. Shipping and listing is very, very, very simple on Poshmark, and it's a great way to make a side hustle. So I don't want this to be a negative about Poshmark. I think it's a great platform. I have made money there, and I continue to support it and sell on there. But I want to get into growing your business, scaling your business, and can you actually do that on Poshmark? So Manish and the team at Poshmark has said numerous times that they don't see eBay as competition. They see more like an Instagram. They are a social app. They want it to be social and they want it to be fair. They don't want big sellers to come in. And if you know SEOs and you can take good pictures and all of these things that full-time resellers can do to take over the market and leave the little people behind. So they full disclosure on that. They have never said that they want full-time resellers. Not that they're negative against us, but that's not really what the platform is about. And I'm going to show you a little bit more into my data and my numbers and how Poshmark works, and if it actually can support and you can make a full-time income on Poshmark. So let's look at my numbers. What we're going to be looking at right now, this is the Poshmark Analytical Sales Dashboard from Sarah Styles. So I have 3 dashboards available. This is a sales one. You can export Poshmark, and this is one reason that I'm wary of them supporting, or they don't support full-time resellers. They give you no analytics. They give you, I mean, you don't even know how much money that you've made monthly. You have one number of the entire time that you have made on Poshmark. From a marketing standpoint, one really large number looks much better and it makes you want to go back and sell more and more, right? Where if you like sold $200 a month, you're like, that's not that much. But then if you did it for over the course of 5 years, now you're into the thousands of dollars, right? So it looks a lot better. So they do provide you with a sales report. However, it comes out in a CSV file. Most postures don't know what to do with that. So I have created these sales. This is the analytical sales dashboard and the charts that we'll be looking at, as well as some other charts, not in this video, but in other videos of mine you can see from the dashboard. But you copy and paste it in here, and then you have access to all of this data as well. I highly recommend that you look at your numbers, watch my video, gain perspective on it, and then do the same for your numbers, and always use your numbers as a guide. So what we're looking at, I cannot make more than $2,500 reselling on Poshmark. I can't. We're looking at 2020 here, right? So there's a pandemic. You can clearly see when the pandemic hit. But if you want to go back over to, this is the previous year as well. Both charts in the dashboard, this is the previous year as well. My highest month was just shy of 2472, my highest month. Now, some things that happened. So that was 2019. Pre-pandemic, you can't say, hey, there's a pandemic, things are going weird. But also I grew my business 400% on eBay. So yes, there was a pandemic, but yes, I was still able to grow as a reseller. So yes, that has something to do it, but that's not strictly what it was. I am wondering, and let me know what you guys think as well, because I've noticed this with mine. No matter what I do, I cannot make more sales. Poshmark has said, hey, we want it to be a level playing field. And so I am wondering if they do cap it out, right? If they only allow you to make so many sales because they don't want big people. Obviously, there's some big resellers that we know of that make a lot more than that. So I'm not sure how that works, because I know there are people out there. There's a lot of there's a handful of resellers, social media people, and people that I know that, are up in the, thousands, much higher than that. But a lot of people that I talk to get capped out. So I'm wondering if somehow in the algorithm, or unless you're on their radar, that they cap you out because they want to make it a level playing field for everyone. And when I say everything, let me give you a list of everything that I have done. Feel free to drop notes down below for things that work for you, but you can watch a lot of my Poshmark videos. I have sent offers after 15 minutes after every like. I have sent offers once a week. I have sent offers at the end of the day. I have participated in closet clear out. I have done Becky Park's closet clear out trick where you just send them a message, and then you drop the prices there. I have increased my listings. So I started with 200 listings. I'm now at 800 listings. So I've gone up to 1,000 listings. I've had a wide range of number of listings available, and I'm going to talk on that in a minute as well. We have another graph that I'm going to share to show you. I have shared my closet once a day. I have shared my closet until I got put in share jail. I have commented on every single person that likes something. I comment, I create a bundle. I have said, hey, here's what's going on. Here's a deal that I have going on. I've tried it all and I've done videos on most of it. And look at this. I cannot, no matter what I tried, and you can come over here too, I cannot break that 2,500. And most of the time, it's rare for me to get over that 2,000. I am going to note too, because I was starting to see this, and I worked really hard on Poshmark for a year and a half, and I just could not break out of, I couldn't grow on Poshmark. And that's when I started looking into eBay. I've done a lot of videos on Poshmark versus eBay and where I'm headed with that. But I want to look at this for Poshmark. If you're trying to grow and you're just not really seeing it, look at your numbers, look at your data, and kind of think outside of the box of things that you can be doing. Drop those notes down below if you guys are noticing the same thing as me. But because I was not being able to grow no matter what I did, I was spending, when I first started Poshmark and I was sharing my own closet, I was spending like 6, 8 hours a day on the app. Towards 2020, I had someone share my closet for me, but I was still spending about 2 to 3 hours a day on the app, sending out offers, commenting, sharing other people's closets, all of these various different things. And no matter what I did, my sales were stagnant. So January to August, that's the wrong date. That should be August through December. I will say August through December, I stopped because I wasn't making more sales. And I was like 2 to 3 hours a day. I am seeing growth on eBay. And I'll show you guys my eBay stuff in a minute just so you can see. But I was showing growth on eBay. I put my time into eBay because I'm not, that 2 to 3 hours for me was not worth it on Poshmark. You will see a drop off here. My December, every single month, or every single year, is a huge drop off, right? So I don't think that's because I wasn't sharing. I was still sharing. I was still sharing my closet, but I don't think that's because I wasn't doing as many hours, because I started that back in August. I always see a drop off. I sell a lot of used stuff. I see a drop off. I don't get the Q4 December sales like most resellers. It tends to be in January and February for me. But so if you like content like this, I have some, I'm going to talk about closet size as well, and then show you my eBay data and how it compares. But if you guys do like content like this and talking and showing actual numbers, strategies, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be doing at the end of this video, how I'm going to be moving forward so that I can grow my business and I can make that full-time income that I want to make. I will be showing you that. But if these ideas, these strategies, these principles can be applied to anyone, whether you are a side hustle or a full-time reseller. Knowing your numbers, manipulating your numbers is something that anyone can do. It's not just, hey, look at this Bolo brand, hope you find it at a thrift store. I teach you how to look at your numbers. So if you want to talk a little bit about closet size, right? Sarah, your numbers are the same, you have to grow your closet. Well, let's look and see what happened when I grew my closet. I didn't put in the whole data here, just, a quick sample size on what was going on. But over here on the blue, you have my closet size, and then you have your sell-through rate. So your sell-through rate is how much is sold of how much you have. It's a much better indicator of saying, hey, I made 100 sales, so I'm performing better. Well, if you are making 100 sales, but you have 1,000 store sale, 1,000 closet size, 1,000 items in your closet, you're only selling 10% of your items. So sell-through rate is a much better indicator of I'm selling well, this is selling well, it's giving you a much better metrics on how things are actually performing. Just because you have, if you're selling items because you simply have more items, that's not a great strategy because you're spending more time and more money in not the most efficient way possible. So I look at sell-through rate. Everything I talk about on this channel is sell-through rate as well as my dashboards. This chart is not part of the dashboard. Full disclosure, this is something that I made for the video. But so I started obviously 2019. I started December of 2018. So my closet size is small. My closet, I did go balls to the wall. So my closet size by the end of January was 320. My sell-through rate was 26%. That's a great sell-through rate in a month. However, you can see over the course of, look at the blue bars, over the course of 2 years, I grew my closet to 1,400 items. What did my sell-through rate do? So you see the blues going up, the red is steadily declining, which is not a good thing. Yes, I am making a few more sales, possibly, but my sell-through rate is awful. 2% of the inventory that I have is selling on Poshmark. That's terrible. Like, that is awful. And even if that is enough for you to sell, that is if I probably, I don't know, 1,300 items that are stale. That's terrible. Not a good strategy. Buying more to have your sell-through rate decline is not a good strategy. So something that I want to talk about here, why I think it's really hard to grow on Poshmark, simply because it's not what their platform is for. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not what their platform is for. I am really wondering if they cap it out. I'm going to share my eBay numbers with you as well so that you can say, hey, Sarah, it was a pandemic. You're not doing anything right, blah, 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 blah. You can't grow. So I'll show you my eBay numbers in a minute. But it makes sense. There's nothing wrong with Poshmark, you not being able to become a full-time reseller on Poshmark. That's not what their platform is meant for. If you look at their marketing, if you read through their IPO, if you didn't watch Amber Resell's video because she goes over it, that's not what their platform's about. They're not for full-time resellers, and it shows even in their platform. They have no data analytics. They have no automation. If you're a full-time reseller, you have to literally be spending 6 to 8 hours a day sharing your closet. That is not a good use of your time, honestly. It's great for side hustles. It is great for your cleaning out your closet, which is exactly what the platform is for. So being mindful of what you're trying to get out of the platforms. I'm actually not going to show my eBay data with you. I think this video, I don't like to drag videos on, so I'm not going to show my eBay data with you, but I will say I have grown my business. That's a lie. I'm going to show you because I like to show charts and graphs. I don't want you guys to be like, oh yeah, Sarah, you're telling us you grew your business, but we don't actually know that you did that. So here you go. This is the Sarah Sales and Trends dashboard. And yes, I grew my business. Poshmark would have stayed stagnant here. Had I only done Poshmark, you can see absolutely this growth is coming from eBay. At the end of 2020, for the last full year, I didn't really start eBay till May, and I was double eBay than I was on Poshmark. So it's not just, hey, it's a pandemic. Hey, people aren't spending money. That's absolutely part of it for sure. But I was able to grow on eBay because eBay supports full-time resellers. If you guys like content like this, please do hit that subscribe button. Thank you for joining my channel where data empowers true potential and I show you the power of your numbers. As always, please do make sure to look at your numbers and take into consideration your circumstances and what is working for you. Drop those notes down below. Have a good day.